Welcome from me, Cammy Bell, to the second episode of the Black and Gold podcast in association with Annan Athletic Football Club. Thanks again for joining us, and welcome to any new viewers or listeners to our podcast. We can't wait to get started on what should be an exciting episode, talking you through the journey of our guest's career up to date, and of course our higher or lower game, his best career 11, 5 quickfire questions, the fans' questions to put to our guest as well, and what's coming up and around Annan Athletic this weekend. Please keep sharing and liking all our social media stuff on Instagram and Facebook, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Black and Gold Podcast, for all episodes and updates. So let's get started and welcome the wingman to the journey, an Annan Athletic legend. He bleeds black and gold. Peter Watson. Pedro, ready to go again? Ready to go again? Ready to go?
Ready to go. It's been a rush today, actually. We've both been rushing about, haven't we? You've just finished your shift at UPS. It's been a rush, but good to get back at it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have another guest in the studio.
Excited about another guest that you've actually played with. So
yes,
yeah.
Or watched from when I was on the bench. What about the hits on social media?
Yeah, it's been good so far. I think we're closing in. I'm not sure if we've made the 2K mark, but we've done well. I'm quite delighted it's growing as we speak. So
we're the majority of the views, aren't we?
Yeah, keep clicking it. Massive families in that as well. So yeah, no, it's been good. So it's a really good response.
Yep, great.
Hopefully it keeps growing. Hopefully everyone likes it and enjoys this episode.
This was just for the archive. Obviously, we'll not get much numbers off of this.
So no, I would like to introduce our guest to this episode. He's a local lad and he's played from the lower leagues in Scottish football all the way to the top tier. Currently playing his trade in the Scottish Championship with Partick Thistle. Welcome to the Black and Gold podcast, Aaron Muirhead. Aaron, I'm not sure if you've seen the first episode, but what do you make of our studio here?
No, I think the studio looks fantastic, obviously. Delighted to be here and thanks for having me on. I did watch the first episode and I think that's maybe why I got the message to come on, because try and liven it up a bit, Willie. It was a wee bit quiet.
You bring a bit to the table, are you?
No, I'm not. Can't promise then.
No, you're looking forward to the next hour. We'll go through your career and then we've got a few, as I say, feature games and stuff, so it'll be good. You're looking forward to it?
Yeah, definitely. I think, as I said to my dad actually before coming, Annan's a club that's quite close to my heart. They gave me my chance in the game, and it's good to see that you're trying to put something back into them as well with the podcast, and hopefully you're successful with it.
Yeah, no, good, yeah. Anything to say, Pete, to your ex-teammate?
Yeah. No? Just, he looks exactly the fucking same.
Does he?
Same Barnet, no?
Same Barnet. No, it's straight. It's straight up.
What about his Barnet? Is his the same?
Fuck, it is.
His is
Lego head.
changed. The only difference is with the glasses now. Like, where's Wally?
There's been a couple of comments.
All the viewers have been commenting about him screwing his face up.
How you do when you've not got the
and
glasses
then teeth
on?
come out when you screw your face up and all. No, so brilliant. So let's get started, Aaron. You started your youth career at Ayr United. How did that come about, obviously you being from Dumfries?
I can't actually remember exactly how the initial thing came about me going to Ayr, but I was a young lad at Dundee Star. My dad was helping out with Skin McGinley, and I ended up involved there, and then when I left I went to Ayr Youths, and my dad used to drive me up 2 nights a week. And then that's quite a big commitment. Obviously, ask from my dad. He's driving up 2 nights a week, and obviously then I knew a lot of the boys that were at Annan. So it ended up that I would train with Annan 1 night a week and up to Ayr 1 night a week, and then I'd play my game. I think it was like a Saturday morning with the games.
It's a huge commitment though, as you say. Like again, Ayr United's a good. Well, Ayr's a couple of hours basically from here. It's a terrible road as well, so it's a huge commitment from your dad. But again, these things do pay off. I had the same with my dad, and I'm pretty sure you did as well, taking you all over the country. And
fucker, no, I didn't have far to go at the end of the road. Dad, wasn't it?
Standing outside with your boots. And
he's coming down.
No, it is a big commitment though.
Yeah, 100%. My dad's made a lot of sacrifices, obviously, throughout my career. Going back before even my Ayr days, I used to travel the road up and down to Crewe. Like a Saturday night, you would go down there.
Like the Dario Grad era?
I remember that.
So
you and Grant?
Me and Big Grant. So him and my dad and Grant's dad would take
Toby
turns.
Parsons' boy, no, Brody, was that
He
after
was
you?
Toby. I think it was Toby that actually scouted me to go.
Was it?
All right.
I was playing for the school.
Yep.
And I can remember after the game, I was playing against Grant actually. After the game, I seen him talking to my dad, and I kind of wondered, and then my dad said, "Oh, you've been asked to go down on trial," kind of thing. So it was one of them, because you were under 16, you weren't allowed to officially sign.
Yeah.
So you would travel and play the games, and I was still involved at like Queen's Youths.
Aye.
That's going back to my kind of early days. And then, as I said, my dad and Grant's dad would take us on a Saturday night and stay. We'd play the game, and they'd drive us back up on a Sunday. So my dad's done a few miles.
A few miles, aye. No,
Well travelled, not nearly by.
yeah, aye, no, great. Then you joined Annan, which I'm pretty sure a lot of Annan fans will hear about it, in 2008. I think you were only 18 at the time. How did that move come about? Was it just natural that you being from Dumfries and maybe your time came to an end at Ayr, or how did it come about?
No, actually, I was, as I said before, I was training with Annan one night a week.
Yep.
And travelling here, and the travelling was a lot. So I ended up, I think it was Harry Kearney at the time. He I was obviously impressed him in training, if you like, and he approached and said, "Look, I want you to sign. I want you to come and be part of the first team." And to me, going and being part of a first team in men's football was, obviously you had to end up sharing a changing room with big dafties like Pete, but it was that for me, that the grounding I got at Annan was brilliant, and thoroughly enjoyed it. And obviously the Ayr thing, it was good at the time, but the chance to go and play men's football was big for me. And then it just kind of happened quite quickly. I think they contacted Ayr and said, "Look, I don't think it was Ayr were too fussed."
I fucking have him.
They were like, "No bother, have them, man." So that's kind of how it came about.
But it's a different route from quite a lot of other players, I would say. Like you normally get the youth set up and go through that, and then you'll go into full-time football, whereas you kind of took almost a step back and going into senior football and then took the step forward, which is different to a lot of players.
Yeah, exactly. And I say that to a lot of kind of younger boys nowadays, that you need to be playing games. And I think the fact that Harry said that I would be playing games was huge for me, and it meant I was getting that ground. And I didn't know what was at stake for me. At the end of the day, at that point in my career, I just wanted to establish myself in the team and show that I could play men's football, if you like. But I say that to younger boys nowadays. You're like, some boys just want to say, "Oh, I'm at a professional club," which at the end of the day, when then you turn 20, 21 and you've only made 2 senior appearances, it's harder then to find, whereas other boys maybe go out, it might be a lower level you're going to, but if you go out and you get games under your belt, you can then go to a club and say, "Look, I've played 50 to 100 senior appearances." And I think, anyway, I don't know it all, but in my opinion, I think you're better out and playing games.
Totally. What I will say is, it probably made Harry's mind up quite easily, because obviously Aaron's not the type of, but you want the type of boy to come into training just follow suit.
No.
You're quite outspoken anyway, loud and aggressive at training, and quite vocal lad. So that probably stood you out, I think, for made it quite easy.
I thought you were
for
going
him
to say
go.
it was natural because he was taking over your position.
So
So
I mean, that was fucking in. You come.
you come in, fucking anybody in the centre half.
To be fair, when I first came, I was right back, and
That's
then
right.
we ended up going to a back three, and I played kind of sweeper. I think it was you and Kevin Nielsen in the beginning.
Nelly was there at the time. wasn't
And later stages, you had like Derek Townsley and
Diggs
kind
and
of
Andy
so
Aitken came.
Andy Aitken, all players that were great for me to learn off of.
he? Gibby, Scott Gibson from Edinburgh. eh?
That was always late every single session. But there was a
one
lot.
photo of a flat tyre in his phone. It was
Sent
fucking
one.
snowing, but it was a bright sunshine. That tyres
On the way to training on a
Same photo.
on a Tuesday night in December. Aye, flat tyre. It's like it's dark outside. He said that it's sunny in the background.
Brilliant, man, brilliant. No, great. And you enjoyed your sort of first spell at Annan. It was quite successful. Again, looking back at that spell under Harry as the manager, you were obviously there as well, Pete, so you can jump in. You had that playoff where you got so close and very early in, I think it was Annan's second season of being in the leagues and taking into the leagues. You beat Alloa 2-1 in the first playoff over the 2 legs, and then you played Albion Rovers, and you eventually got beat 4-3 over the 2 legs. But again, it was a close game. Can you remember much about it used to?
I can, only because I now share a changing room with Stevie Lawless, and he he was playing with Albion
So he
Rovers
was,
at the
yeah.
time, and I can remember the first leg, not the first leg, sorry, the first round against Alloa, because I scored a wonder free kick. I'm surprised you've not got it on video to show the
Listen, we're not that technical.
No, I scored a free kick that night, and I had quite a few.
Was it a
of them.
Worldie?
Aye, it was.
Was it?
Fucking
can't
idea.
remember?
I was sitting fucking reading a programme on the bench. Probably.
Checking if your name is there.
Look at the back of Billy Bentley's head on the bench.
Dad, I'm on the programme.
No, and Stevie reminds me quite a lot now about Albion beating us.
Did Stevie come to Annan first or Albion Rovers first?
He was at Albion Rovers first, I think, and then he came.
Halsman come.
Aye,
to
they
Annan.
came on loan for Motherwell, I think
Yeah.
it was. He was on loan as well then.
Was it?
I'm sure it was after that. Then he came to Annan. And it's funny, just funny how he's kind of passed across
It is
again. It
funny,
happens
yeah.
quite a lot,
Aye.
obviously, especially in Scottish football lower leagues.
Can you mind? You will mind it. Fucking Sparky McDocherty. He slapped you in that
Aye.
game with Alton.
Because I scored a free kick before, and he came in and he wanted to hit the free kick, and I'm like, no, I'm hitting the free kick. And obviously, I'm just a young boy, and he was older as me, and I'm like down the plate. I'm like, no, I'm hitting the free kick. Bent down, and he just slapped me across the head. And I'm like, but then obviously after it, you find out in the changing room that he beat Amir Khan when in a boxing fight, like in his younger days.
What, he did? He really did?
Aye, when
he was amateur boxer.
Was he?
Aye, so when him and Amir Khan were amateur boxers, I'm sure it might be somebody just talking.
No, he did
saying-
fight him. I don't think he got. It was. Sparky actually tells us this later on. It was some. I think someone like Amir Khan couldn't have a bout that day, or his
Right.
opponent, so Sparky jumped in, or something like that.
Right, okay. Aye,
And,
so
I think he beat Sparky. But says
So it was a wise choice. Just
aye,
to,
after the game, I'm like, what's
So you
he
shot
doing?
it.
And then I'll be having words with him, and then no, somebody said I was like that.
Nah, leave it.
Sorry, mate,
Leave
you
it.
can have
Ah,
all
you're
the
on
free
the free.
kicks.
You're on the fucking penalties and all.
What was the feeling after that game? Because obviously it would be it's a
Well,
hammer blow. I always lose
here,
in the playoffs.
You've got it out here. So when you look at the team and the squad that we had there, just about every single player. Craig Summersgill, Sparky Docherty come in from Brecon, wasn't it? I think
Aye.
come along from Andy Aiken, Kev Nielsen, yourself, Gilly, Neil McFarlane,
Yeah, Nearly.
Stevie Sloan, Jack Steele, Sean O'Connor, Ian Harty, John Macbeth, Brian Felvis, myself, Johnny Jameson, and Jardy. Again, there's
That's
fucking 80% are Dumfries and Galloway.
Yeah, it's a local.
That is very local,
And
isn't it?
me and Andy were talking about this on Tuesday, and Andy was like, "Do you know what? I would take that team." No.
Aye.
Good, but obviously the bench. I would be on
The
the
local
bench.
connection, though, it's great when you've got local lads. Obviously, you need the quality as well, which you did have the quality at that time.
Aye.
But it is always good to have local lads. I think it brings the club closer.
It does.
Yeah, and I think Harry was really good at that,
Good at that,
in terms of he kept it local. And then, like you were asking there about how was it after that, obviously you were gutted, but if I remember correctly, we ended up having a night out.
We did, Slipstream.
And, aye. So what? Say that was the Saturday. On the Sunday we were like, or did we just go?
I think we went
maybe
straight
after
after
it?
the game.
Maybe we were
In
in
our trackies.
this social club and then out after it. So we were that close that I thoroughly enjoyed it. That time in my career, obviously the social side was brilliant, but like every night you looked forward to turning up to training because it was such a close knit
Which is
squad.
great, and credit to Harry, as you say, because to create that culture within a club's hard, especially in this day and age. I think it's really hard to do. So yeah, no, good times. And then you got your move to Partick in the summer of 2012.
You signed a pre-contract, or right in saying, did you know?
It
Did
was,
you?
Christmas
well, I
time.
don't think I think I
Or agreed?
I agreed with them, and it was a case of they came to watch me a few games and then basically said, look, we're going to sign you. And it was then Jackie McNamara said, can I meet you? So I went to Moffat to meet him, and straight away Jackie McNamara obviously played many games for Celtic, Scotland. He's quite an icon at that time anyway.
Yep.
So when you were quite in awe going to meet him, and as soon as I met him I knew, like, because I think I maybe had wee bits of interest from other teams, but as soon as I met him I knew that
Your mind
that's
was
where I
made
wanted to go. And
How was Jack as a manager? He seems like I've only briefly met him a few times in the media circle, and he's quite a quiet man in that sort of sense. How is
I
he?
would say as a manager as well, he was quite laid back. It was always we'll score more than them. It was, and I think that season that's what helped us, because we had quite a young squad, and he never really put a lot of pressure on us. And at the start of the season, I can just remember going, and obviously you're going up there, a young curly-haired guy from Dumfries, like not really knowing what to expect, quite anxious if you're going to get a game. But then I went up and he just said to me, look, you'll play for me. This is how I see you playing, blah, blah, blah. So you go up, and then from the pre-season we played Celtic, Everton, and I think it was maybe Airdrie in a pre-season tournament, and we just went and blew them away, and it just kind of steamrolled into the season. Aye.
Yeah.
And he'd obviously done his homework on, like Stevie Lawless, me and him signed at the same time. The boy, Stephen O'Donnell, Aaron Taylor Sinclair,
Squiddy there?
Squiddy, but I'm thinking boys that he signed that had been maybe let go from bigger clubs, and then so he's kind of signed boys all with a point to prove, if you like, and then they've came in, and I just kind of clicked that season. Because
you played again, your first season was incredible. You obviously you got winning promotion, but you played a huge part in it. 36 games, 4 goals. I'm pretty sure it was a good season for you. Obviously, Jackie left at Christmas as well, and then Alan Archibald took over. Was there anything changed, or did he just keep momentum going? Was he assistant manager?
He was a player,
right? Okay.
And Simon Donnelly was assistant.
But
Archie at the time, I'm sure he was maybe whether it was the 18s or 21s, whatever age group it was at that time, he was taking them and kind of being like the third man, if you like. But he was our captain and player, and he didn't change too much. Maybe just made us a wee bit more hard to beat. As I said before, Jackie just was
score more than
the other team, whereas Archie, being a defender, made us a bit more kind of defensive minded. And he kind of took himself out the team as well, and then it was me and Conrad Ballatoni that played centre half. But I think it was maybe a blessing in disguise, because coming in, you know what it's like in Scotland, coming into the winter, the pitches maybe aren't as conducive to good free flowing football, so him coming in, making us a bit harder to beat, and just working on just minor things that he tweaked, but other than that it was pretty much the same in terms of training and stuff. He didn't want to change too much, because obviously we were up the top of the league, and it was going well for us.
Probably clever from him again, if, as you say, pitches and that time, and him being a defender probably making you more robust and hard to beat, and you were in a good position at that time anyway. So what was the celebrations like? Can you remember them? I'm pretty sure you can, because it's a special moment.
I can't remember them. The only thing was, I'm quite sure you'll probably touch on it later on, I was suspended for the last, so I think we won it with 5 games to go, and I had like a 4 game ban or something. So I was.
We'll go there next.
I was suspended for that, which was, I think, if I hadn't played as many games, I maybe wouldn't have felt as much of a part of it. But the fact I'd played like basically the whole season, I felt very much part of it, and we were a close knit group because we're all similar age. So it was brilliant. I think basically you would play on the Saturday, and from the Saturday to the Thursday, Archie would just say, right, I'll see you Thursday, lads, because you'd won the league early, so you were celebrating every weekend. It was.
I can mind seeing his. What did your T-shirt say? Kids experience.
Kids experience. We got this because we were going against Morton, and I think their manager through the season had said, you don't win anything with kids, so we've got the experience, the usual. So you don't need much more motivation when somebody does that. It's quite a funny story, actually. When we were on one of the nights out, I can't remember what player it was, one of his mates came on the night out and prank called the Morton manager, pretending to be from the newspaper.
Can you mind who the Morton manager was at the time?
Alan Moore.
Oh, was it?
Aye.
Oh, right, okay.
Because the Thistle fans always sing, you should have kept your fucking mouth shut, Alan Moore.
Class.
So he phoned them pretending to, and we're all in the pub like gathered round, and he's on the phone like pretending to be a newspaper, and then at the end of it we all just burst into song. I think he was obviously raging and phoned Archie after it, and Archie was like, look, you shouldn't have, but it was
Archie was pissing his son off. Fucking brilliant.
After a few beers it was we thought it was a good idea.
Amazing. But you could have actually done the double that season, just missing out on the Challenge Cup. I think you know where I'm going with this one. Losing to Queen's as well, obviously. Being from Dumfries, your local team. Firstly, you missed a penalty in the game. And I remember the incident. I think I watched it with you actually, Pete.
We did, because we went out after.
Yeah, we will not go down there
Celebrating,
on that one. No, so I mind watching it, and all the players surrounded you at the time, which, listen, I actually thought it was bang in order, but again, it is what it is in football. And then you stuck the nut in Chris Higgin. What, and obviously got a red card for it. What can you remember from that sort of 2-minute period that was a bit mental?
Oh, well, I can remember it because you get reminded that every year at that time it comes up. It's always getting shared and stuff. Obviously, I think that was the first penalty I'd actually ever missed. I've hit a lot of penalties, but that was the first one I'd ever missed. And then there were obviously the whole game I'd been getting stick from the fans and stuff, but that was fine. I dealt with that. And then it's the 119th minute, you're 1-0 down, you get a penalty and miss it, obviously. And then they're right. It was just a heat of the moment thing, and at the time you regret it, and then you come out and instantly you start thinking about your family and stuff. How are they going to be feeling?
Oh, fuck off, man.
But
Wrap that right on.
It was
fucking fantastic.
It was a fucking belter, a headbutt and all, wasn't it? I always remember it hanging fucking wow. That was
oh, fucking yes.
I can remind he was rolling about in the deck, like holding it. Then he realised that I'd been sent off and come and try to square up to me. I was like,
it was that bit of blood that was dripping off his nose.
It's still on his face. He come in, does the PFA stuff, doesn't he? Still
He's a good lad.
No, it's a good lad, and as I say, I speak to him now, no bother. It's just, I think, actually, when I ended up signing with Air...
Does he shake himself?
Well, when I've ended up signing with Air, I go into Air and all the boys are like, obviously on his case, like, Higgy, don't be hiding on it. But for like a year, the group chat WhatsApp picture had been me with a head on him, so they had to change it when I've signed, obviously, because none of the boys knew me. They didn't know how I would take it. But first thing I done was up and shook his hand. It was fine, and I see him quite frequently now with the PFA stuff.
Aye, no, he's a good lad, and he's obviously went on to lose that game on penalties. Was there much said to you from the manager at the time? Or
actually, he just said, look, I've nothing wrong with you missing the penalty. It's your reaction after it. I think I got fined and stuff, and he just said, I'm not bothered about the penalty miss, because obviously we were going for the league at the time, and I'm sure we were playing Morton that Tuesday night. He just says, I'm just more annoyed that you're going to be missing for the running, because obviously we hadn't won the league at that time. But in the same, he gave me it, but in a nice way, if you like, because he knew that how I was feeling. And it was just one of them that...
A rush of blood, isn't it? Sometimes these things happen in emotions and you lose your head for a
that's
second.
It, when you've got a group of them round you in your face, it's just...
A rush of blood coming to his beak, wasn't it?
Just as well it's not your beak, it's coming out.
Still got
no, bro.
Fucking coming from you!
That's it, you take your time there.
Two big massive hook and tookens here.
You'll not be able to be seen for the camera here.
Rolling noses in the middle.
Next season you obviously you promoted that season, so you were Premier League, and again, how was the experience playing in the top flight, your first time playing there? Enjoy it?
Oh, amazing. Obviously it's coming from playing with Annan to then in the Premier League in the space of, well, a season really. It was a dream come true for me in terms of the stadiums you're going to play at, the clubs you're going to play against, and we had some good nights as well. Obviously a lot of home games, big sellouts at Firhill, and it was a great experience.
You scored your first goal of penalty. As you say, you take a lot of penalties, which I can remember. I'm pretty sure you stuck one by me at one point or two. Against Hearts, was that a brilliant feeling?
Yeah, I think that was our first goal as a team in the league, and I can remember it was late on. I think it was maybe 85, 86 minutes we got a penalty, and that was the first penalty since the cup.
Right, wow.
So you know what it's like. Obviously I'd scored a few, but then some boys like think because I missed the last one that they're on it, and I just was like, no, I'm on it. And I can remember just thinking, I'm hitting this down the middle.
Thank fuck Sparky wasn't playing for them.
I know, Sparky gave me a slap and took it right off me. No, so I think there was Callum Higginbottom, John Baird. Bairdy won the penalty, and I think he had hit penalties at his previous club and stuff, and I was like, no, I'm hitting it, and I just had, and then obviously score it, and then lo and behold, Hearts equalised in about the 92nd minute or something. So it was, but it was an amazing feeling that to score in the Premier League.
No, brilliant. You left Thistle in January 2015 and moved to Falkirk. What was the thinking behind that? Was it change of manager, more game time needed for yourself?
I would say so. The first season I played quite a bit, but then I done my knee and I needed an operation, and then coming back I just never really broke. I played now and then but never broke back into the team, and then it's like other players are coming in, so my game time was maybe a bit sporadic, if you like, so it was more a chance to go out and play regular football. So Peter Houston, Mark Kerr he actually signed at the same time as me. He was going, and Kerr's got kind of a word of that there might be a chance there, so he was on to Peter Houston and he phoned me, and it happened quite quickly. And Falkirk were pushing for playoffs and Scottish Cup at the time, I think it was that season. So it was another big club as well. That growing up, Dumfries, you kind of read and see these clubs and you don't think you'll maybe get the chance, but I suppose Falkirk and Thistle are both massive clubs.
Massive clubs, yeah. And again, did you enjoy your time at Falkirk? It's a huge club. I only spent 6 months there, and it's a brilliant club. Really good people, massive support as well. Even though they've dropped down the leagues, they're still there. Fans turning up, and they're doing brilliant at the moment. But good experience for you.
Great experience, and a real family club. Obviously, I had my youngest daughter when I was there. Peter Houston, brilliant manager. Great guy. Just the wee things that maybe go unseen in football, like so when my daughter was born, bringing in gifts and saying to me, look, have a day, because you know what it's like in football, you're just like, your baby's born and you're in training the next day, but
piece of meat,
exactly. But he was a great manager in that sense. And then they had the family room up the stairs, so my wife and stuff would come and the kids would come to the game, and it was so. And obviously my dad, he comes to every game. My mum was there a lot as well, but she was probably more running about with the wains, mind you. But no, a great family club, and we had a bit of success. You get to the Scottish Cup final, playoff finals, so never won any of them, mind you.
A good period though, a good spell for you, yeah.
But I think that was a lot of that was down to Peter Houston and the players that he signed. Great mix of youth and experience. When you look at Mark Kerr's, Lee Miller's, David McCracken's, John Baird's, boys like that, and then you've got your younger lads like Craig Sibbald and Blair Alston and that were all there side, at the time.
Yeah, really good side. And then you moved over to Ayr United in January. Again, what happened at Falkirk with the move? Was it?
Well, it was one of them. Obviously, you had the highs at Falkirk under Peter Houston, and then it was kind of like a merry-go-round of managers started happening. Paul Hartley, Ray McKinnon, and
Paul Hartley brought in a huge amount of English boys. I remember, I think I played against you in the first game of the season when I was at Partick actually, and we played you, and I was like, wow, who are all these players? I didn't know anyone.
And that was it. So at that time, I think I maybe had the chance to leave, but he kind of sold you the dream on bringing in this boy, Chelsea
23's captain and all that.
Chelsea 23's captain. So you think, oh, right, okay. And then you brought them in and they just weren't up to speed. I feel, and especially in the lower leagues from League 2 up to the Championship, you need a nucleus anyway, of Scottish lads that know the league to do well. You can have one or two, but they need to kind of see how it's done from the Scottish lads, if you like. Or so he brought, and then Mark Kerr again he was at Ayr at the time and kind of was at me and said McCall's keen, and then ended up speaking to Ian McCall and went there, and I think Ayr were top of the league at the time, flying high. So again, you're going to a team that's pushing at the right end of the table, rather as Falkirk I think maybe were
the bottom set,
and you could see like the kind of writing was on the wall just with the way things were maybe behind the scenes, if you like. Don't get me wrong, as you said, you got the backing for the fans, but the behind the scenes,
that was what kind of the season when it went wrong. Obviously Paul Hartley got sacked, I remember, and then Ray McKinnon came in and then never ever recovered until this moment in time when John McGlynn's doing so well with them. But it was a huge moment for Falkirk that changed them, because they're never a League One team, and they spent too long there, but they've got themselves up in the Championship and pushing for promotion this season.
Down, mind you.
Aye, for your sake. But no, you obviously players at Ayr United at that time. Who the top players?
Well, obviously you had Lawrence Shankland was there at the time, him and Michael Moffat up front, Mark Kerr, boy Andy Murdoch, Ross Docherty, big boy Michael Rose, who ended up getting a move down to England.
Good team,
William Smith, right back, went to Dundee United. Daniel Harvey, who's down at Wickham now. Ross Doohan, the goalie. It was a good squad.
You just missed out on obviously promotion a couple of times in a row. I think you finished third twice in a row. And was that what made you fall short? Was it just the playoffs are always difficult?
I've been involved in them quite a lot now, and I think obviously after a hard grueling season, you end up you have to go and play like 6 games to get promoted, so it's tough. And the fact that in that league, I think the fact we maybe didn't quite challenge right at the top was you always had kind of teams with far bigger budgets, and you don't get me wrong, McCall done a great job in terms of like the squad he built, again building a squad full of boys that have maybe been let go, that are hungry, just try to restart their career, along with a mixture of experience.
And then you obviously moved back to Partick, where you find yourself at the moment, but was that again McCall that signed you?
It was McCall that signed me.
Took you back?
So he had left,
jump ship,
left Ayr and went there, and then I think I spent another like season and a half. Then he came back in for me, and it was one of them. I think
it's always good signing. I certainly think signing for a manager, you know what you're going to get.
100%. I think at that time I had a bit of interest from other teams as well, but I think McCall kind of knew that Thistle would be the only place that I would have left there for, because Ayr was a great club, a lot of time for the folk behind the scenes, great bunch of boys and stuff, and obviously you can see what the chairman's doing there now in terms of the stadium and that he's built a new stand, but that I think Thistle would have been the only club that I would have left for at that time, and McCall knew that and pulled in the heartstrings.
Quick question that I've not got written down, but best manager you've worked under for you, who
so it would be between
what you like the best. Who you like?
Peter Houston, I would say,
right.
And McCall. Between the two,
right.
For different. McCall was quite a what you see is what you get, whereas it's always Houston. But he just, I think the fact that my youngest daughter was born, and I kind of that and the relationship he had with my family in terms of my wife, the kids. He knew their name. Like, it wasn't just that's Aaron's wife. He knew that it was Sarah. He knew. And I think that for me was massive. And don't get me wrong, he gave me the hairdryer treatment a few times, but I just always had that respect for him. And the same with McCall. But then you go back and it's like, well, Jackie gave me my first chance at full time. And
so there's loads. There is Peds. Who's
sorry, I fell asleep there.
Who's the best manager you've worked under?
Well, I've had limited.
You've had a lot of managers, a few.
Murphy.
Aye,
I'll be honest, very tactically aware, set up very, very well. I thought his tactical side was excellent. As you can see, we were hard to beat.
Yeah,
Annan, we were.
Because he put you on the bench.
Who's his best move?
Tactical genius, some would say.
Everyone kept feeling sorry for Pete and playing them. Then the best manager comes in, bin.
You watch it the side sign, watch and learn.
But you got, like, say, it is interesting when types of managers come in. When Jim Chapman at Annan, and he was quite a vocal man, and so there's different aspects to how they treat you and how they interact with the way the squad is and stuff. But I would say Murphy.
Yeah. No, interesting. Yeah.
You?
Oh, I genuinely don't know.
It was moving on.
I don't know. I liked Kenny Shields. I think we spoke about that. I did like Kenny Shields. There's been a number of managers I've liked, a number that I've not liked as well. But Ray McKinnon as well.
But the personal touch, though.
Well, certainly no Coisty, because he phoned me up when my daughter was born. He phoned me up. I was in Dumfries. Daughter was born in the morning, and I actually waited for the phone call. I thought, you know what, I'm going to give us a couple of hours before the phone, because we played a Broth away that night on a Monday night. Phoned him and he's like, you'll be alright to get up here for that. I was like, I hadn't slept all night. It was fucking horrendous. So, and I was just like, look, Gaffer, I'm not making this tonight. But so
that's what I say. That's definitely like Peter Houston. I know it's maybe different because we never had a game the next day, but just the wee touches that he let you go and have a day where at the time you don't think much of it. It's more looking back now, you realise.
Don't get me wrong, Coisty was amazing, he was funny, you could imagine what he was like as a character, a great guy and a great place to be at the time. But yeah, there's loads of different ones. I think it's hard to nail down one. What you got to say, Pete? You've got
Calder would know.
fucking banished to training myself. I don't even think I was allowed to train with the goalie coach.
How
at
does
one
a goalie
point.
train himself?
Fucking hell, man.
Right, shoot, run and catch it.
That was in between when we were done
Him
fucking...
and fucking Warburton
Oh,
are off the
no.
Christmas card list.
Gary Calder was a strange one as well because I was in Scotland squads with him, and again he had all these ideas, and he's doing well at Exeter at the moment. But he had all these ideas, you know, when managers come in, they're fresh off the licences, and we were up in, I remember going into hills up by Helensburgh, and we're at army camp, we were carrying like somebody, I can't remember who it was, but somebody in a stretcher for like 3 miles.
I was about to say.
Lying there just like medic. And then they had the kit man at the time got kidnapped by the fucking SAS boys and all this. He was into all that kind of stuff. And I remember watching Sully before a game because when the plane crashed.
Sully,
it was about
Tom Hanks.
being comfortable when you're uncomfortable. These fucking planes just crashed. Of course, you're uncomfortable. Fuck me, man. It's no, I think we're ready to play Ross County or something on the pitch, and I was like, fucking hell. But you get all these different ideas, and some work, and some people are for you, and some aren't. So again, as I say, I've spoke to Gary many times since then. So one thing I would like to kind of go on the end of your career, which I think is really intriguing part.
Not finished yet.
No.
The end of my career.
Well, no, sorry. Towards the end of
right,
where I'm at with your career.
Finished.
Still got a few years left. The playoff game, the incredible playoff game, which went badly wrong for you guys. 2-0 up at Firhill against Ross County in the first leg. You then go 1-0 up in the second leg with 20 minutes to go. Look as if you're cruising as well. I remember that game. You weren't really under too much pressure. No. They get a penalty on the 71st minute, score it. What's going through your head at that point? Are you worried, or are you thinking, no, we're all right?
No, at that point, I can remember when they got the penalty, we were going to make subs, 2 subs, more kind of defensive minded. I think we were maybe going to go to like a back 5, if you like. But during the game, you didn't feel under any pressure. You felt quite comfortable in the game. Obviously, they had a boy that took a lot of long throws and stuff. So you knew that was kind of coming. But I remember they got the penalty, scored it, then we never made the subs, took centre, and Doc put it out for a throw in. They threw it down the line, crossed it, and before you knew it, it was 3-2.
Simon Murray, wasn't it?
Simon Murray. And then
where are you then when it's 3-2?
It's a weird one because you've went from not feeling under any, feeling comfortable in the game. Obviously, you're right switch on, but then to, oh no, we're under pressure here, and it's like, right, let's see it out. And
it's a mindset, isn't it? It's hard because you go from, as you say, 69 minutes cruising. Because I do remember the game, and you weren't under a great deal of pressure. No. They get that penalty, and even at the penalty, you're probably thinking, well, they've no battered us. We've been fine in the game, so we'll be all right. But then they score straight away, and the whole thing changes.
Oh, and that's momentum in football was huge. And obviously
fans get behind it.
Oh, that's it. And the backing we had up there that day was incredible. Excuse me, just to be a part of it was, but it's the lowest I've ever felt in football.
Because he obviously scored 91st minute to take it to 3-3, which went in extra time, and then you get through extra time.
Exactly.
Because
to be fair, we had chances in extra time because I think it was like a reset, right?
So that's what you done? Did you have a chat and say, look, we need to...
pulled us in and we kind of... And then I'm not saying we were... But we were more back to what we had been like for the previous 100 and whatever minutes. And then...
penalties.
Then penalties come and...
Talk us through the penalties.
To be fair, I had a penalty.
Did you hit the first one?
First penalty. I think I was maybe penalty taker at the time. So I scored... I can't remember the order of it, but I can remember we missed. They had a penalty to win it, missed it. Then we had a penalty miss, and there was a few misses, so there was maybe 3 boys missed penalties.
Yep.
So I can only imagine how they were feeling after the game. I know how I was feeling. It was, as I say, the lowest. So you can only. But at the end of the day, they were big enough to put their name up and put their name forward for hitting the penalty. And there's boys that never done that. So
it'd have been a long, long journey home from.
Well, it's the
from
longest
Dingwall.
ever Dingwall,
Yes,
isn't it?
it's a.
But we left Dingwall for 2 hours. Not one person spoke.
Wow.
Not one person. Everybody just. We had obviously the tape, and everybody just sat like that. And then we stopped for a fish and chips on the way home, and then obviously, and then you've got the family bus and stuff as well, and you've got your wife texting you. They're feeling it all for you and feeling it for themselves as well, texting you that their bus is exactly the same. They've went up, they're all singing, all dancing, and then the way home. And as you say, it's the longest journey ever.
Did you have somewhere booked for after it?
Oh, well, it was at the back at the club. There was going to be like a function for your family and stuff. Oh, yeah, you had everything.
Did you do it? Did you do it? No, I've been a few of them that have been cancelled in my career. No, it's
one like literally boys were
just want to go home.
Aye. Then after it, you have your chippy come. But even still at that, hardly anybody was talking. It was, but then the next day, we had like a day out because boys were obviously leaving and stuff, and they were like, right, we're not leaving like this. So we had a day, and it was a bit easier then. But then you had boys getting let go, like because we had the team meeting, like players had meetings with the manager and stuff, and they come out and they're like, oh, I've got a deal. Oh, I've been let go. So you had all that to deal with. But I suppose that's the side of football that a lot of people don't see. So
the uncertainty, which there's huge uncertainty in football.
I get it from my wife. I've had it for 11 years now, the uncertainty. But I suppose that's just kind of the job that you're in, and you just need to kind of deal with.
Yep. No, it was an incredible game, and I'm pretty sure. Listen, I remember Chris Doolan speaking about it and saying that he was learned from it, and I'm pretty sure all the players would, but it's hard to take one of them ones. But you're still at Partick at the moment. How's this season been so far? I'm guessing promotion's the aim long term?
Yeah, obviously for me, I'm coming towards the end of my career, so I want to try and take Thistle back to the Premier League, whether that be this season or not. But this season we'll be pushing as hard as we can. For me, this season's been a bit frustrating, obviously. Last year I played through an injury for the majority of the season. This year I've come back flying in pre-season 2 days before the season starts. I roll my ankle, quite an innocuous thing in training. So then you miss the first 4 games or whatever. But I'm back now, back fit. So I've played the last 2 games. I'm back involved. So hopefully it's one of them. There's the Championship probably gets talked about quite a lot. You cover it quite a bit with your TV stuff. But
it's a brilliant league, isn't it? It's an amazing league.
Brilliant. MD can beat MD, and it's about putting a run together, and hopefully we're on a run at the moment.
You got you got a good win last week against Dunfermline, and obviously you've got Hamilton on Saturday, so it'll be another 3 points needed.
Oh, definitely. I think our away form's not been the best this year, so we need to kind of try and get our first away win of the season, and hopefully we can do that this weekend. But as you know, and I know, it's not just as easy as turning up. You need to make sure you're right at it.
Good luck, mate. Good luck.
Cheers. Because you're the one experience, most experience in changing room.
Second oldest. Big Brian's only one older than me. There's a few.
Do you talk to any of the young ones? Or?
To be fair, you know what I'm like. I quite like a laugh in that on a day-to-day basis, and I think that means that the young lads know that I'm quite approachable, because I'm not. I try and not put them down, if you like. I'll encourage them, I'll have a bit of crack and a laugh with them, I'll try and find out what's going on in their lives. There's 1 or 2 things that have happened, and you just try and be there for people, just try and be a good person. I'm not saying that I'm all the time, there's times I'll shout and maybe you're like, I took that too far, but I'll always make a point of being like, right, I'm sorry, but this is why I shouted at you or whatever. But I think I'm quite approachable for a young lad.
Jai
Stevenson.
Saying he says you're a prick. But no, he does like you. Obviously, you know him well. So.
I know Jai well. He's a good lad. He's a lad that I feel I've been there for a,
No
a
much
few
up there,
times.
is there?
No, that's that's simple.
You're a
He'll
harsh
fit
man.
right in with you.
Trying to do a crossword together.
Him and Pete sitting in the changing room.
Crosswords.
Some riveting conversation there.
Oh man.
Fucking word search.
What? No, brilliant, mate. Brilliant. It was really enjoyable. That. Good to go through. Peds, enjoy it.
Aye, excellent. Like I say, it's nice. Obviously, I've known him for a long time now, but it's good to look back over a career that's been very successful. And
Good
hope
for
to
you, I'm sure, was it? To go back through a bit
Oh,
of
aye,
memories and
that's the thing you bring up. That things like the Peter Houston, it brings up memories, and it brings up memories of like when you were reading that squad list out there. The players
Feels
that
like
you-
yesterday,
Aye,
though,
it
doesn't it?
does. Time passes so quick, but how long's it been since we were all together in a changing
That's
room?
13 years.
Aye, 13
But the
years
guys
ago.
always, when we're young, they're always going, your career will pass you quick. You're like, fuck off.
Aye, exactly.
You're
Like,
when
no
you're an
bother,
all
mate.
cunt,
Aye.
aye. But it's like, no, it's
There's no, I'm the gold cunt.
Aye, no,
Saying
that's it. But it does fly by. So, great, mate. So that takes us on to your best 11 of your
Aye.
career, which is interesting.
Aye, it was quite tough to be fair to pick.
well,
Eh,
counting past 10.
Centre half would have been tough, was it?
Aye, I mean,
It was
Definitely no
big man
fucking
in-
tough.
I've had 5 or 6 centre half partners, and Peter was not one of them.
Amazing.
But see, to be fair, if I was picking a team for a night out, Big Pete, you would have made the cut.
You would have been something like that.
You would have made the cut.
Driver.
Nah, my 1 to 11, it was hard. I've played with a lot of good players, a lot better players than me. So, and some of the boys that I've left out that are a lot better
Yep.
players than me as well. So, I mean, you just want me to
Yeah,
go
on you
through
go,
this.
mate.
So I've got
Floor's yours.
Ross Doohan in goals, who I played with Ayr. I felt he was a top keeper at the time. I've played with, obviously, Scott Fox was
Fox was good, yeah.
a good goalie as well. In my back fours, Jack McMillan, Grant Hanley, Alan Archibald, and Aaron Taylor Sinclair.
It's a solid back four, isn't it?
Aye, and obviously I've got likes of Stephen O'Donnell that probably harsh to miss out on, but it was close between him and Jack McMillan. But I felt that me and him had quite a good relationship on and off the park.
Yep.
So that's maybe why he just edges it. Then you've got a midfielder, Mark Kerr, Craig Sibbald, and Chris Jardine. Mark Kerr, me and him again close, and he taught me a lot about playing centre half. I think just simplifying things in terms of just getting the ball and giving it to midfielders quicker, which early in my career helped me.
Craig Sibbald, good player.
Oh, aye, Sibbs was top. I'm surprised he's not went on to. I know he's obviously doing well at Dundee United now, but I'm surprised he never.
Top.
I went down the road to England, especially at that time at Falkirk. Boys were getting moves
Old
down.
Firm as well were
Aye.
mentioned at the time. I always remember him. He was brilliant when he was at Falkirk.
So I'm surprised with that he never. And then obviously Chris Jardine,
El Capitan, isn't he? For me,
the main man at Annan. But again, brilliant with me.
So talented,
Aye.
wasn't he, as well? He was,
And-
Another
one.
deceivingly talented.
Yeah.
eh?
Aye. Another one that surprised he never played at a higher level. I don't know if that might have something to do with the fact he didn't drive. Because,
Possibly.
like, you know,
Does he not
we're
drive?
talking.
He does now,
No, he does now, but
he
at the time he
didn't,
never
yeah.
drove. And we're talking, obviously, about what our dad's done for
Yep.
us and running us. I might be totally way off here, but I think he must
he
have
was
had
such a. I remember
opportunities to
watching
play.
him, looking from the outside in, obviously no Jardy to speak to and
Aye.
stuff, but watching him, he was.
But you don't know Jardy like we know Jardy.
No, listen, but a top player, like his range of passing
Oh,
was
amazing.
incredible.
Aye,
like
amazing.
really,
Honestly,
really good.
It was fucking phenomenal. I
Aye.
thought anyway.
Yeah.
Aye,
I
and
did.
like, there's a lot of players as well I've missed out, but I felt Jardy definitely deserved it, especially with it being the Black and Gold podcast.
He's a
You know what I
legend,
mean?
Annan, as well.
He
isn't
is
he?
an absolute legend, but
What-
you don't get that. Well, I was going to say you don't get that just handed to you, the legendary status, but he
You
gets
obviously
it.
do. You got to pay for that. Like. You don't just get a hand. You got to pay for that.
I need to say it every episode. Annan, a Flight legend.
You don't have
I've run
to.
out of words to say for you. No, great.
Aye, and then so I kind of you've got boys like Sir Will Vaulks that I played with, Chris Erskine that I've kind of missed out harsh, and then my front three I've went Stevie Lawless, Lawrence Shankland, and Luke McCowan.
A good front three.
Aye, good, and I think Stevie's obviously battling back for a tough injury at the moment, but he's a top player. Big Shanks has done well, and you kind of seen that he kicked on since he left there when I played with him, and then looked the same. Then you've got boys, Aidan Fitzpatrick, that probably deserve a wee mention, that should be involved.
Fitz is a good player. He was a young, when I was at Thistle for the short period, he was a young kid then, he got his move to Norwich.
I don't know if that maybe came too early for him in his back.
I felt as if Fitz's personality wasn't going to work down there, and just he was still very young to move away. I probably should have stayed maybe another season or two just to find his feet. But what a talented player! It looks as if he's kicking on again.
Oh, he is, and he's a massive player for us, and that maybe goes back to when he moved to Norwich. He's went there, and then whereas if he'd have stayed at Thistle and you go and you get the 50, 60, 70 games, it might have experience. But to be fair play to him, he's came back, he's bounced back, and he's flying again.
Because he's had a tough road. I think he went to Queen's, and he didn't really find his feet at Queen's when he came back up the road. And but as I say, looking from the outside in, he's really, really important for you guys.
He's massive for us. I think a lot of teams kind of double up on him now, but then at the weekend there he goes and bit of magic, beats about 3 players and scores the winner for you. So
and that was late on the game, wasn't it?
Hopefully that's a big goal for us.
Brilliant, great.
Touching on when you're talking about team. Mind you went to Blackpool.
Go on then.
To be fair, it wasn't too bad. It just when we talk about when we're talking about like team spirit and boys and
was
mentality
this
and
sort
stuff.
Of period?
Slightly later,
right? Okay.
Not maybe the next year, right? Because I think Coxie there.
Bell was there.
Bell was there
because I can remember him getting thrown out of
well, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Like threw downstairs, and the bouncer used him like a sledge.
Oh, that's how he's lost his chin.
Gosh, man.
We had that mad black minibus that we went in.
I drove it.
Was it you? I couldn't remember who was it.
Where did you get a black mini? Was it the Annan one?
I had a minibus.
The banger one?
The banger.
Painted it was like blackboard paint.
Was it the paint that you first used? You tried to paint this high gloss.
Oh,
shocker. Look.
I knew you were the brains behind the operation.
Amazing.
Fucking hell, man.
Nah, good. Brilliant, mate. Great 11. Really good team, some great players in there.
To be fair, you put a full subs bench on and all, didn't you?
I did when I sent it, just because I felt bad for.
Like,
as I say, a lot of there's a lot of players better than me that probably should be in it. But
folk will be digging you, won't they?
Aye, probably.
So that takes us on to our higher or lower game. Did you see it? First episode? The game?
No, I think I'm out, as I said, I put me to sleep by then.
I'll go through some general Scottish football knowledge questions. You've got 30 seconds on the clock. We've got
where's the clock?
Peter Collum here. Peter Collum with his whistle. Get your whistle, Peter. And after how many of our questions you get correct, we've got the chance to double that and flip the...
What's 00?
What?
What's double? What if I get it right?
0.
Well, you get nothing for that, pal. So, yes, you tell me when you're ready, Pedro.
Alright, so remember, if you
pass
don't know it, pass.
If you don't know it, just pass.
Okay, Dad.
30 seconds.
Yep.
On the clock.
Who is currently sitting top of League 2 in Scotland?
Alloa.
Who do Rangers play at Ibrox on Sunday?
Hibs.
Sammy the Tammy is the mascot for which Scottish football club?
Pass.
Celtic beat which team in their opening Champions League game this season?
Pass. Irrelevant.
Name one of the Scottish players to recently join Napoli in the Serie A.
McTominay.
Who is Scotland's most capped ever player?
Oh, Dalglish.
Who was the most... I've started, so I'll finish. Who was the most recent SPL manager to get sacked?
Craig Levine.
You marking these?
Mm-hmm.
Was it Craig Levine? No, it was Naismith.
Oh,
donkey man.
Elvis has died in the fucking meantime.
So we'll go through them. Are you kicking yourself for that one? Right. So who was currently sitting top of League 2? Peterhead.
Oh, I've went League 1.
Yeah, went League 1.
Who do Rangers play at Ibrox on Sunday? It's Hibs.
Got that, didn't I?
Sammy the Tammy is the mascot of which Scottish football team? You passing that one? Dunfermline.
Just played them at the weekend.
Celtic beat which...
I was
No,
at
we were
home.
at home.
He's got a wee tammy, have you seen him?
We were
Bear
at
with a
home.
tammy on.
Was
Walks
it?
about, aye. Celtic beat which team in their opening Champions League game this season was Slovan Bratislava.
I wouldn't have got that.
Name one of the Scottish players recently joined Napoli. You said McTominay, it could have been Gilmore as well. Who is Scotland's most capped ever player? Kenny Dalglish.
I got that, didn't I?
That, yep.
Yep, and then the one you got wrong, which you're kicking yourself,
Aye.
was who was the most recent SPL manager to get sacked, and that was Stephen Naismith. So how many did you get, Pete?
3.
3, so you get 3 opportunities. So you get a chance to get 6 here. Take you to the top of the leaderboard. So we'll flip the card over here. And
So is it just higher or lower? Aye?
higher
Higher
or
or
lower?
lower?
This is a simple part. of the
Aye.
game.
Do you
Simple
need
part.
that simplified? Are you alright with that?
Listen to the Prince of Britain over there.
It's because I got my glasses on. They come with the brains.
Go on then, Peds. Flip
Right,
the first
first
one. See
one.
where we're starting.
Oh, 3.
Oh, that's a good
3
card.
of diamonds.
Great card starter.
It's a great card.
Have you set these up that you're
No,
Definitely
no,
not.
no. These have been
Never-
shuffled.
Never
Right,
been near
okay.
them.
Don't want
Aye.
Ofcom coming after us.
What does an ace count as?
Low.
Low.
Ace is low.
Right, okay.
Here we
Isn't
go.
it? Ace is low.
Yep. So you're going higher.
Aye, higher.
Locked
Higher.
in.
Oh, 4 of diamonds.
Oh, nice card.
Shuffle these.
Higher.
So that's you got.
Higher again. What was that? Oh, Jack of
Jack.
diamonds. Fucking hell.
So you're
Just got
currently on
diamonds in
5 points. So you took the top of the leaderboard. This could get you 6.
But what happens if I get it wrong?
If you get it wrong, you stay on 5. You're
Still
on
five,
5. You've
right.
got
So
five
wait,
locked
hold
in.
on. Alright, so that was the first one.
Aye, we're alright. We've done 2.
So we've
He's
got
got
one
2
more.
successful.
Yeah,
One
so-
more.
Right,
So higher or
lower.
lower?
Lower than a Jack of diamonds.
Go on.
6
Six,
of
yes.
spades.
Top of the
Is that me?
leaderboard. That's you
6.
done.
That's
That's
you.
top, didn't
Aye,
it?
'cause
You
you got
done?
3
Right,
and
okay.
3.
Oh, nice.
Excellent, mate.
Nice.
Top of the leaderboard.
Six.
Willie Gibson on 4.
We need to get a leaderboard.
There's only been 2.
That's a good listen. Take top, though, won't you?
Aye,
You take
aye.
top.
At least I was
Willie
top at
Gibson
some
on
point.
4 and Aaron Muirhead on 6
6.
over higher or lower game.
Good show, good show.
Good, mate. Thanks for
Sorry,
that.
I didn't link.
So we'll go into the 5 quickfire questions at the moment. So, Aaron, what's the best stadium you've played at and why?
I would say Ibrox.
Nice.
Just that atmosphere, and I actually captained the team that day, so leading your team at Ibrox was special for me.
Who were you playing with? At the time?
Falkirk at the time.
Falkirk.
I've played with Thistle as well.
Right.
Ibrox, just the atmosphere.
Brilliant. Who's the best player you've played with or against and why?
What about you? Are you wanting
No, just one. So you need to be a
Oh.
player you've played with or somebody you've played against. And
Van Dijk
great
against
choice.
Just you kind of see why the way he's moved
The
into
Rolls
Liverpool.
Royce.
I can remember marking him at a corner, and it was like hit the road, me man.
He's
Massive
massive.
then.
isn't
Oh,
he?
so big.
What age was he when he was at Celtic?
Don't know.
He must have been
Young.
Young, aye.
but he was certainly no wee boy.
Oh, aye. Beast,
Aye.
didn't he?
Yeah.
Big dong, do you think?
What?
Schlong.
Come on, Peter.
Do you think?
Bigger as yours anyway.
100%. Short on, as big as mine.
Nicholas shouting in.
She would have just got a mouthful.
Shocking, man. What's been the most enjoyable part of your career? So it could be the club that looked after you the best, team spirit, dressing room, most successful part.
I think you've got to go the Thistle winning the league. It's at the time you think you're just. This happens all the time because that's my first season as a professional, and you go and win the league. But you realise it's maybe
Very special.
Aye, very special. So I would say that.
That's something that, again, you do see. Certainly when I retired, it's hard to win anything
Oh,
in football. Really hard to win
It
anything.
will be if you fucking retire. What were you saying there?
Like, no, when you retire, you
Looking
reflect
back
back.
at your-
You
looking
reflect back and you think, because at the time you just think, oh, I'll win another one.
Aye.
Like, I remember winning the League Cup and you just thought, oh, well, I'll win something else. But it took a long time to actually win anything else.
Aye.
So you don't
So-
really appreciate it at the time, I feel.
It's, again, you kind of said it earlier. Everyone's like, "I take it in. It doesn't happen often." You're like, "No
Aye.
bother." Then it'll
It's
it'll
nice
happen
looking back
again.
at it, though, I think.
Oh, looking
Isn't
back,
it?
aye.
It's used to have stuff to talk about even better.
What, have you won in? No. No.
You
From
won
promotion,
promotion.
aye, but I was
Aye.
signed as a player, but
You
Well,
came
at
on a
least-
couple of times. Did you
that
not?
was
Was that the following season? Did you not come on a couple of games
no, that was last season. Just,
last season?
Aye. Yeah,
Top cheerleader, though.
top cheerleader, water boy,
Sometimes it's important to have people
Aye.
like you.
Oh,
about the
it
club.
is.
the wind beneath the wings.
Question 4: hardest opponent you've played against and why? So this could be somebody who's really
Who's a
talented. It could be a prick.
Someone that's like,
Somebody you just hate.
Sorry, I've thought that. So I would say Chris Commons. He was
For talent.
Aye, he was just so strong. Like,
Was he?
Yes.
you could not get, like, you think you've got it, and then he would just get his big arse in, and him for like talent. In terms of being a prick, David Cox. Remember when I was at Annan? Me and him had
He was at Montrose, wasn't he?
He was at Montrose. We had a wee thing after the game, I think, and then it kind of spilled into the tunnel. We had a kind of fight in the tunnel, and then Harry Kearney came in after and was like, "You've been sent off." I was like, "What? I never touched him. Like, never done anything," kind of thing. Then the next pre-season, first day, he walk in. Coxey's
amazing.
Sure, I never hit you. He's like, "Are you fucking dead?"
I was holding Coxey. It was like trying to hold a bar of soap in the shower. Because he was a tank.
He's a wee bear, isn't he? He's a wee bear. He's an angry man as well
Very.
sometimes, but he's a good lad. You
take that away. See, at that time, you take that out of his game and he was non-effective.
Exactly.
That was who he was.
And again, he played a number of games in the league.
Great to have in your team.
He's retired about 14 times, isn't he?
Great to have in your team.
He's a good lad. He's a good lad. Fifth and final question. Tell us something we don't know about yourself.
Well, maybe you might know, but the audience might not know that I'm actually a bricklayer to trade, so nothing else interesting other than...
No, you're not.
Slept with one.
Liar.
So that kind of... When I was at Annan, that meant I could get my trade because I wasn't full time. So that was maybe another reason why leaving Ayr rather than going into the full time setup, coming to Annan part time, meant I could go and get my trade, and I've got something to fall back
That's
on.
That's great. Again, you've got something that you can go straight in if you want to.
Hopefully.
But certainly a lot of players retire and don't have anything to go
exactly.
into. So it's a good thing to have.
Mm-hmm.
So next, Pedro.
Yep, got some questions from some fans or viewers, listeners that we put on social media. So this one's from Alfie Robinson on Instagram. What was your best moment of your career so far? You've probably touched on it.
I would say obviously winning the league. Maybe personally scoring that goal against Hearts. First goal in the SPL, I would say. But winning the league was just special. As I say, the celebrations were amazing and great bunch of boys to do it with.
Even you touched on playing at Ibrox or
maybe
at Ibrox because you were a Rangers
well.
fan growing
exactly.
up.
Growing up, being to Rangers games and stuff, walking out to Simply the Best. It was. I actually got a bit of stick for it because obviously I've led the team out, but as soon as I've heard the song, I'm just out and I've left the team. They're about 10 yards behind me because I'm just so the adrenaline. I'm like, let's get out, and it was some experience, man.
Brilliant.
Obviously, you've played there hundreds of times against and for. It's some atmosphere in it.
No, it's amazing. And
what was better, Parkhead or Ibrox? Would you say?
Ibrox for me again. Obviously, being a Rangers fan, and but not just playing with Rangers. It was more against. I can remember Flag Day for Rangers. Will Kilmarnock going there the first day of the season. Just an amazing atmosphere and. Yeah, it's
imposing, isn't it?
It's special.
It is a special place. The atmosphere. Again, it can be poison as well, and really difficult if you're playing there and it's not going well. But yeah, special place, really good.
Once I played there, obviously for Annan, and we were. Neil Alexander was in goals. Scott Chapman got. We nearly got wiped out by Lee Wallace. Wallace sent off. Scott Chapman steps up. Neil Alexander saves a penalty, and I was shouting. Top of my voice, no joke. Fuck it, Steely, get back, because we were going on the counter.
Yep.
And I couldn't hear the words coming out my own mouth. I tell that to everyone that I meet. I love it because it's just you go there, you used to go and watch the games and that, and you're like, fucking hell. Just the noise is unbelievable. And for someone that's not been exposed to stuff like that, obviously you played in a lot of big games before and went to Ibrox, and you've played obviously plenty Premier games, but fucking hell, what a feeling.
That's great.
Huge.
But as you say, sometimes that can have the... I think it takes a certain character to play for clubs like Celtic and Rangers, I think.
Or at least a certain quality. So we've got another one from someone you'll know. Is it true you took hair straighteners in your kit bag for before and after the game? And are they still in the motor now?
Incorrect. No, it's... So I
Craig
think I was.
Adamson, this is from.
Was it Craigie? To be fair, he was dying for a shout out. He's been messaging me. No, I don't take them in my wash bag. I can confirm I have straightened my hair a few times, but
I still do it.
Princess Diana here.
But I think
Because you were looking.
if you look back at the kind of video that you put
Yes, the hair.
the hair there, it
Oh,
was
there's some
shocking.
Aye, it was trying to
shocking.
pull it down to cover the face,
Aye.
Pull it down with your nose.
It was,
The nose peeking through.
it was a shocker in my planet. I don't know what I used to do with it.
You're young, Aaron.
Aye,
You're young.
young and daft.
And then you started getting women after you changed it.
Never.
One woman.
One
man.
woman, man.
From Johnny B on Instagram, if you had the choice to join Annan or Queen's, we all know the answer to this one. At the moment, which team would you choose and why?
I think it would be Annan. As I said before, Annan kind of gave me my chance to start in professional men's football. A lot of great people at the club. That it's quite hard for me, obviously, playing on a Saturday. The fact that I've not been to as many games. My dad still
Does
tries to get, when I'm not maybe like on a midweek game, if I've not got a midweek, he'll get down. But having a family with young kids, sometimes I don't. It's something that I've actually made a thing of making a conscious effort of getting back. So I would say Annan. And to be fair, if I went to Queen's, I'd probably get booed, as I do every time I go back there.
Anyone would choose to go to Queen's, would they?
No, to be fair, Queen's. You've said about Murph. He's a good manager.
Don't start that. We're anti-Queen's here.
Black and gold, man. Black and
No
gold.
blue and white.
No, but it would be good if Annan got promoted and Queen's came out in the playoff. We'll leave it
There
at
you
that.
go.
Oh, yes.
There you go. That's
a
on
dream.
the fence for you.
That's a dream.
Watch your
You
arse
got to
on
live
that
down
fence.
there. You got to live there now, haven't you?
No, exactly.
No.
And the last one, sorry, we've got from Jake on Messenger. Sorry, what's your favourite karaoke song? Obviously, we know you're a karaoke singer.
Are you?
He loves
I
it
love
all.
karaoke.
Do you?
That's when that mic was there. It was
Ready to
Nearly
go.
ready. Marty Pello, full Marty Pello.
I would say probably Dumfries is sick of hearing it. Ronan Keating, When You Say Nothing at All. I sing that a lot. But I am partial to karaoke.
I'm
After a
sick
few
of hearing
years.
it. I've not heard it yet.
I like that.
That's a lie. I partially that or a wee bit of Westlife.
Oh, hi.
Can I beat a bit of Westlife?
Get you in the
See
mood for
that,
it.
but the old bus days up to Elgin and Peterhead
Oh,
and stuff on the way home, a few beers.
I've seen you in the front of the bus with a mic.
Peter
Oh.
Weatherson.
Weatherson.
I've seen that on
We
Facebook.
mentioned it.
Aye.
Mate,
I've
that
heard
was-
he's amazing.
Aye, he was amazing.
Paolo
Oh, he
Nutini.
puts me to shame.
I
Not
don't
that it's
know,
hard,
like,
not that
you've
it's
got effort, eh?
Oh, aye, 100% commitment.
Endeavour.
That's, mate, that's what I do in everything in life. That's
That's
why
right.
I've made it as a player. Lack of ability, just sheer effort.
Heart and balls.
Boss. No, good questions.
That is
Thanks,
good.
and again, keep sending them in for our future guests and
Absolutely.
anything you've got to send in to us as well, to me and Pete, for our weekend review show. Just fire it in through our social medias, and that takes us on to what's coming up around Annan Fleck this weekend. Obviously, we've got the first team game. Annan are away to Kelty Hearts on Saturday the 28th of September at New Central Park, 3 p.m. kick-off. Good luck to the team up there. Hopefully they can get a result. We'll look at the youths on Saturday. The 2017s have a fixtures at Greyston Rovers in a festival which kicks off at 9:15.
On David Keswick Centre.
Yep.
My daughter will be playing against you.
Aye,
Oh, lovely.
Theo. Again, what's your daughter's name again?
Emily.
Emily. Oh,
Aye,
great,
Emily.
great. Yeah, so great. So in the 2016s have a festival at Annan, actually, up at the Mugga at Galabank, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m, and they're playing Locker and Mids in that one. The 2013s are at home to Treggles at 12 p.m. at Galabank. And then on Sunday the 29th, we've got the under-15s away to Greyston
Double
Rovers.
header.
Yep. And the under-17s are at home to St Cuthbert's Blues at 11 a.m. at Galabank. We've got the girls' football as well. So Saturday the 28th, the under-14s are playing Stewart and Annick in the South West Rose Riley League, which kicks off at 10 a.m. at Galabank. The ladies' team, they play Curnock on Sunday in the SWFL South West League, which is a 3 p.m. kick-off at Galabank as well. So Remember, it's your club, so get right behind the current and next generation of talent. Support all the boys, girls, ladies and men's this weekend, and good luck to everyone from the Black and Gold podcast. Do you
Absolutely.
echo that, Peter?
Echo that. Like I say, I think the ladies, starting with the ladies and the girls, are doing some brilliant stuff at the club, aren't they? They're really flourishing, and they're well organised, and they do a lot of good stuff. Giving the girls an opportunity to go and play. A lot of girls are
Platform.
Quite, yeah, because you're conscious, and then you get past that age where it's
great.
It's mixed, and then there's where's there to go, and it was always historically Queens that would have a ladies team, so Annan jumping on that, and it's brilliant.
No, it's great. It's great, and again, what I would reiterate is well done to all the coaches, and again, they give a lot of time, volunteers. So use
and
guys.
Sponsors. I see you've jumped on the bandwagon.
Yeah, no, you've got to get out and sponsor them. I would encourage anybody to do that for our youths and our girls and ladies teams. Get out there and sponsor them, support them, go and watch them as well this weekend. Give them as much support as possible. So, well, that's us coming to the end of the episode. Aaron, enjoyed it?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's, as I've said maybe a couple of times tonight, that Annan done a lot for me, so try to give a wee bit back the same as you two guys are, and hopefully I wish you all the success going forward, and hopefully people enjoy it and don't get too bored with what we've been speaking about tonight.
No, I'm sure they won't.
I actually brought you as a wee just a
hi.
signed top.
Oh, no, you're all right.
Pete asked me for a bit of memorabilia.
Fantastic.
That's amazing. Thank you very
Thanks
much,
for having
mate.
me,
That's
mate. I'll give you that.
absolutely brilliant, Pete. So
Lovely.
it's
We'll get that up.
lovely
I'm a Falkirk top.
to the Black and Gold podcast. Best wishes, Aaron Muirhead, signed on the back. We'll get that up on our wall, won't we? In our
Definitely.
studio. It's no, much appreciated, mate. That's
Thank you.
really good. Pete, have you enjoyed the second episode?
Yes. Aye, no, definitely. It's nice, obviously. We know Aaron anyway. It's good, but it's good to hear the full story. You do lose touch, and you miss things, and then, like I say, the years go by so fast. So it's great to look back and recap and just hear that story about headbutting the Queen's player one more time. It's just worth it.
Amazing.
Nah, it's excellent. Great. Really good.
I actually, you were mentioning Craig Adamson there. He said to me that Jardy was raging that I've got on the podcast before him, so that might be just a wee
bit of
plug
beef
there
there.
for you
He's
to
awfully
get.
busy though, isn't he?
He's got a
awfully
lot
busy.
going on, but
They're doing
We
well.
can't be busier as you two guys. The work that
Jardy
yous are
and
doing.
Lockerbie.
Listen,
Aye.
I'm sure we'll get him on, Peter.
Oh, he'll be on.
He's more than welcome, Jardy. Brilliant, guys. It's been a great show, and our thanks go to Aaron Muirhead, and good luck on Saturday against Hamilton, and also all the best for the rest of the season. A big thanks from me and Pete for watching and listening to the Black and Gold podcast. Again, please share, like, follow all our stuff on Instagram and Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And until the next episode, it's goodbye from us at the Black and Gold podcast.